Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is excused. Director Rundy.
Here.
Director Hayes.
Here.
Director Roth is excused. Director Moore.
Here.
Director Gray.
Here.
And President Bradley.
Here, we have a quorum. I'll call the meeting to order.
From the President, plans and specifications for letting number 8578, ball field improvements at various parks. PSA number 1163, professional engineering services for the replacement of the airfield lighting control and monitoring system at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. Recommendation that policy and procedural guidelines for city video be approved. From the President, Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that permit for Kings Moffitt Properties, LLC, to encroach with the wheelchair ramp in the right-of-way at 5007 Maffitt be approved subject to certain conditions. From the President and Director of Public Utilities, joint recommendation that permit for St. Louis County to obtain a permanent aerial and bridge pier easement for construction, including a portion of a raised section of roadway over the City of St. Louis Water Company's right-of-way, a.k.a. Waterworks Road at 1785 Lake Avenue, be approved subject to certain conditions. From the President and Director of Streets, recommendation that Gerhardt Loss, LLC, to encroach in the right-of-way on both sides of Laclede and Vandeventer to construct the ADA ramp at the entry doors to building located at 3900 through 3910 Laclede be approved subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Union Electric Company doing business as Amarin UE to set a pole in the alley on the south side of Magnolia west of Sublet. Grove Community Improvement District to encroach with lighting at 4 locations in Manchester between Sarah and Taylor, thus connecting the 2 bookend Grove signs. Geotechnology Inc. to create 3 testing boring locations, one at Malamphy between First and Commercial, second one east of Lewis and north of Dixon, and the third one will be on the north of Biddle and south of Ashley between Lewis and First. Recommendation that permit for AT&T to be approved starting at existing utility pole in the alley south of Lafayette and west of Michigan, bore east 185 feet to the east side of Michigan, then south to a paper alley, then east to an existing utility pole. Copper cable will be bored in place and no pavement will be cut. Total right-of-way footage is 295 feet. Charter Communications to install underground cable to customer at 3233 South Kings Highway, starting at pole number 75849, located on Connecticut, bore east 175 feet to pole 75849, then turn and bore south under Connecticut 30 feet to customer property. Recommendation that permit for IKEA Properties Inc. to encroach with 4 wayfinding signs in the city right-of-way in the vicinity of Vandeventer, Choteau, Sarah, Forest Park, and Highway 64 be denied. The proposed signs would have to be put on private property as advertisement is not permitted in the public right-of-way. From the Director of Public Utilities and Public Safety, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved. Kevin Blessed to subdivide land at 626 through 624 South Broadway in City Block 109, and Habitat for Humanity to subdivide land at 5810 Michigan in City Block 2892. From the Director of Streets, recommendation that the following permits be approved, subject to certain conditions. Earthbound Brewing, LLC, to encroach with Sidewalk Cafe, 3 tables and 12 chairs with liquor at 2710 Cherokee. Peacemaker Lobster and Crab Company to encroach with Sidewalk Cafe, 8 tables and 16 chairs with liquor at 1831 Sydney. And Archer Daniels Midland Company to encroach with sampling trailer at 1 East Grand that would extend approximately 20 feet south into the existing East Grand right-of-way. From the Director of Streets, Parks, Recreation, and Forestry. Recommendation that permit for Great Rivers Greenway, Bike St. Louis, for relocation and replacement of existing signs and installation of some new signs as part of the wayfinding project of Bike St. Louis, Phase 3, be approved subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry. Recommendation that permit for Gateway Fireworks to hold firework display May 18, 2015 in Forest Park at the World's Fair Pavilion be approved subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Safety, recommendation that 2 festival zones be approved as subject to certain conditions as follows. St. Louis Art Museum Art Hill Film Festival, July 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st, 2015 on Art Hill, Slam Plaza, and Fine Arts Drive. TrailNet Ride and River Century Ride at Old Post Office Plaza and Locust between 8th and 9th on Sunday, September 20th, 2015. Now we have the conditional uses.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the board. I'm Michael Vicentainer, zoning plan examiner for the city, and I'll be representing the building commissioner at today's meeting. Per board order number 766, transmitted herewith are recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 6 applications: 5435 Vera, 4249 Olive, 6415 Alabama, 2504 Grover, 3434 Gravois, and 508 North Euclid.
Are there any questions from the board on the conditional uses? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
So move.
Second.
Been moved to approve and seconded. Can you read the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present, is excused. Director Rundy?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Roth is excused. Director Moore?
Aye.
Director Gray?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Approved. Like to take a look at the meeting minutes sent out from the April 28th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
So move.
Been moved to approve and seconded. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is excused. Director Rundy?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Roth is excused. Director Moore?
Aye.
Director Gray?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Approved. Take a motion to accept the agenda as presented, please.
So move.
Second.
Moved and
Previous roll.
seconded to accept the agenda as presented. I have a call for use of previous roll. Is there any objection to use of previous roll? Seeing none.